In the headlines today, Japan has underreported 640 kilograms of plutonium to the International Atomic Energy Agency. That's enough to make 80 nuclear bombs. The unused plutonium was neither revealed in the country's 2012 nor 2013 reports to the IAEA. It was blended with uranium into a mixture known as MOX, a mixed oxide fuel that could be used in reactors. The missing plutonium was found in an offline reactor in the southern town of Genkai only after it was uncovered by a nuclear website. It was loaded into the reactor in March 2011 and taken out 2 years later. Japan's Atomic Energy Commission has argued that the plutonium is still considered being used and hence exempt from reporting to the IAEA. Nearly all of Japan's nuclear reactors remain idle since the 2011 disaster at the Fukushima power plant. Well, Michael Penn is a journalist and political commentator with us now via Skype from Tokyo. Mr. Penn, first of all, tell us about the implications of this. How serious is this expected to become?
Well, it's difficult to say how strongly the IAEA will react, especially as the IAEA has not tended to react very strongly to Japan issues in the past. But Japan is given a very unique position of monitoring itself in many respects. And this incident seems to show that Japan's monitoring of its own stocks of these sorts of materials may leave something to be desired. As the report says, this was discovered not by the IAEA or the Japanese authorities, but by a private group monitoring the Japanese stocks of plutonium.
Right, and one issue that you raised there was it wasn't discovered by the IAEA. Now, doesn't that bring into question the policies of the International Atomic Energy Agency and its ability to discover something like this, for instance, here in Japan?
Yes, I think it does. And in fact, I think that probably the IAEA isn't really monitoring the Japanese situation very carefully. There's kind of an assumption that Japan will faithfully implement its agreements, and it's sort of a gentleman's agreement not to work that hard on finding these things. But I do believe that this report suggests that the IAEA does need to be a little bit more conscious of what Japan is doing.
And then there's a question of course, Japan's intentions here. Do you have anything to tell us about that? Whether, why this nuclear website, first of all, came out with this information, and whether it can be established so early what the intentions of Japan were, as a result of keeping this amount of plutonium that can be used, we're hearing, to build 80 nuclear bombs.
Well, at this point, I wouldn't infer any particular motives in terms of nuclear development, of nuclear weapons development on Japan's side. I think it's probably a mistake of the Japanese Atomic Energy Agency believing that they didn't have to report this material, but they did have to report it. And it was probably, a clerical error of rather large proportions. But at the same time, it does underline the fact that Japan does make mistakes and that monitoring needs to be done of everybody.
Michael Penn, journalist and political commentator with us there live from Tokyo. Thank you very much.